Hey guys, gals, and Legionnaires, Rycon here, and welcome to a message about The Division. Now, I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, as there's been a decent gap in between any episodes for The Division. I'll come out and say it right now. Unfortunately, The Division is coming to an end, and it's for reasons why I didn't see at the start, because I've always said that I like telling stories no matter what, telling a story right to the end, and that's the commitment that I've made on this channel, is that I will be telling these stories right to the end. However, The Division I am really struggling with, and it's not because of the gameplay being not what I thought it would be when I first started playing. Initially I thought The Division would be like a Tom Clancy game, but in terms of like a more multiplayer game, but it is definitely more towards like the MMO side of things, where it's taking a very unrealistic number of hits with a bullet to someone's face to be able to kill them. That takes a while, and that takes a lot of, suspension of disbelief, and I feel like that does take away from the roleplay in a sense, but so far that's been okay. But the main problem I've had with The Division so far is it doesn't quite know what it is in terms of the story, and that's what I'm really struggling with. We don't really know enough about what's going on with the outside world to justify the things that are happening in The Division. Swanson's a good man, I think he is, but I feel like, I don't know, there's something kind of unsettling about the SHD and what Swanson has to do, and quite often I find myself killing people who I have no reason to kill them. I know in terms of a game sense that they will attack me in any second, but more often than not we don't really say who we are, what we're there to do, and that's why I think that's the problem that I have with The Division overall, is that it's very, very unclear about the situation overall, the situation on a national level. We don't know if it's just New York that is having this issue. If it is, really there should be more of a military presence there than just sending in like the one agent to go and do all this and kill countless people in the streets who are trying to survive as best they can, because they don't have the support from their government. They're attempting to because that's the thing, is like not all these people can be these horrific bad guys, right? And I think the problem that I have is just not having the ability to apprehend anyone. I feel like if we had the ability to apprehend people and have the Joint Task Force come and take those people, then that would be good. But I just feel like it doesn't really quite know where it is. It's not a post-apocalyptic game. And it's not quite an end of the world game either, so it's not like before the cataclysm type thing. It's kind of weirdly floating in between, where it's like the rest of the world seems to be existing fine, but obviously some pretty terrible things are going down in New York, and I think what the problem I'm having is just not having any other options with Swanson, is having only the option to kill people all the time. And I think that the kind of character he is, that I kind of set him up to be, is it just doesn't work with this game. There is no option to kind of surrender in a sense, or at least have people surrender to you. And sometimes the people that we're going after, they are just trying to survive as best they can. They have no support from the outside world. They've been cut off just like everyone else has. Now, a lot of people are trying to evacuate, but for whatever reason, some can't, and they choose to stay. And they choose to loot and try and survive off what they can. And that's kind of my problem, is that, like, yes, they're doing that, and obviously that's bad, but they don't have any other option where they are right now. They're hungry, they're thirsty, their family, their friends could be. We don't really know these things. There is a lot that we kind of come into it not knowing enough about, and I feel like that's the problem, is that not enough of that is explained in the game itself. And that's why I struggle. Like, I just recorded the latest episode, which I don't actually think I'm going to release, because it was a real struggle. Because I could see that these people were suffering, and as Swanson, we weren't really able to do anything other than just offer bullets to them in the form of firing them from our gun. There was no kind of chance to have any kind of peaceful outcome. It is like the only option is just to straight up kill them. And the only way that I can justify doing those things is allowing them to fire at me first. And in terms of the gameplay, that doesn't really work out that well, because we are super, like, cushiony. We die in a few bullets, whereas the enemies, they take like 3 or 4 sniper rounds to the head before they go down, which is kind of also part of the problem. I've been wanting to have this talk for a while, but I just haven't quite known how to bring it out and how to say it, because I don't like ending a series. I really don't, and I don't want to be ending this series here because I know a lot of you have watched it the whole way through, and for anyone that is new and has come here from the first episode, I have actually linked this video onto the first episode so that everyone can kind of understand why I've brought it to an end here. But canonically, in terms of like how I imagine it ending for Swanson here, it's tough to know exactly how it would be. I feel like it was getting to the point that I imagine he was kind of like how I was. How much does he trust Isaac and, you know, him marking enemies as bad guys? Because quite often there is no evidence to just straight up shoot people in the street, but you can tell because of the HUD who the bad guys are and who the good guys are, because the bad guys are highlighted in red. But how do we know that they're the bad guys? I mean, how much does Isaac know? And if we really have that much knowledge, I feel like we should be better off logistically. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, and I've really struggled with it over the last few weeks, trying to make a series out of it, trying to keep the roleplay going, but I just, yeah, I don't think that I can, and I hope that you can understand that, and I hope that, well, I hope that you can still enjoy other series that I have on the channel. I never have wanted to end a series before. And I've fought with this for like a good few months, even after bringing it back after the break moving between Toronto and here. Yeah, I don't want to end it, but I feel like I have to, because I can't tell the kind of story with it that I want to be able to, and I don't think it's going to be a kind of believable story in a sense. It's just getting to a point now where it's ridiculous. Not only just like the kind of social aspects that I was talking about, but just like the gameplay aspects where, you know, just how long it is taking me to kill even just basic enemies. Even though my level is kind of high enough, yeah, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be when I first started the series. And from watching all the, you know, the hype and the review videos and stuff like that, it didn't seem like it was going to be so much like that. Yeah, I feel like if it was more like Wildlands in terms of like its combat, I feel like it would have been ace. But unfortunately, there are just too many factors that come into it that has made me come to this decision of wanting to end it. And I hope you can agree with my decision. Yeah, I don't want to leave Swanson in a lurch like this, but yeah, I'm trying to think of how it would end canonically with him, whether or not they have a success or not. I'd like to think that they did succeed in their mission in creating some kind of stability in New York again, but yeah. I guess we'll never know 100% for sure, because I haven't been able to finish it. And for that, I am very, very sorry. But I hope you do understand. And I hope, like I said, you'll be able to enjoy other things in the future on here. And I'd like to think that in some of the future series, I will be able to research them more in advance and get an idea of, well, what exactly we are going to be dealing with. Because I feel like The Division is right smack bang in the middle of not knowing what it is and where it sits. It's tough, especially with us being a agent of the government. I feel like we have a lot more responsibility to just not straight up shoot people. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the matter. I'd like to know what you think as well. Like if you know more information, or if you have canonically come up with more in your head to kind of make sense of the situation that's going on in The Division, let me know. Like I'd love to see those. I really would. So yeah. Do share your feelings with me about this, and I'm sorry that I have to end it here, but guys and gals, that will be it. Thank you for watching all the same. I've had fun with Swanson, but this shall be the end. Thank you for joining me. I have been Rycon. You have all been awesome, and until next time, stay tuned.